You ever have those moments in life where it's kind of like, holy crap! I just was on one of the most reckless zip lines of my entire life. I don't even know if I can actually recommend it, but here's what happened. Best excursion from travel ever, right? I mean, I've had a chance to travel so many different places, and whenever you do, one of the first things that you look up is what's there to do around town, and there's always these tour companies that are there to sell you their excursions. My father-in-law had been to Puerto Vallarta and had told me, he said, Chris, in all of my years of travel, that was the best excursion I had ever done. So check it out. Let me walk you through what this crazy excursion day was like. It starts off early in the morning. We had to get to the harbor because we're gonna take these speedboats over the channel to get to the location. And you know, we're going actually pretty fast as we're zooming across the water. So you're definitely getting a nice adrenaline rush. We had people losing their hats. They said to hold on to your gear. And the moment we get off, we're standing on the pier, and then they have these like big, I think they call them Unimogs, like these military-esque trucks that showed up because we've got to off-road up the mountain. And so we had a whole bunch of us. You don't have seat belts. You're just sitting in the side of this thing. They're blaring Michael Jackson. You got the music playing. You're trying to do your best not to smack your head on everything as you're four-wheeling through some of these deep potholes as you're headed right into the jungle. And then when you get out, they saddle you up on a donkey to shoot you up the mountain. So everyone gets their own donkey, and you know, some of these donkeys are lazy and some of them just wanna race and zoom past. And we're gonna use the donkeys as our way to get to where the zip line is, which that was just kind of cool. I mean, look at these elements, getting on the water and hitting the Unimogs, and then all of a sudden we're on the donkey, which, you know, if you haven't broken in your donkey legs, you know, that's a little uncomfortable. You can't do it for for too long. But we get to the top of the mountain after racing and pushing each other off to the side of the roads, and donkeys wanted to stop and eat some grass. And then it's time for the zip line. Now, I've done a lot of zip lines. Hawaii, I think, has like the second largest zip line on Maui in like this whole northern hemisphere. And it was like almost a mile long, this entire zip. This zip line right here was totally different because it gave us the ability to have like some short zips. Then we had some rappels. We had going down waterfalls. We had just straight drops. Like, you're on this platform, and normally, at least if you're gonna rappel, you're gonna rappel against a rock, right? Well, there was no rock. It was just a free fall where you were controlling your speed and you got the water below. And so we're going down the line, and it was funny because some of my buddies there, they were just dropping straight flat right into the water, living it up, having a really great time. Glenn and I, my wife and I, we got to do this really cool zip where they call it the lover zip, where I think we were both on the same line but straddling each other, kissing while moving and sliding backwards. So the lover's line was cool. We're not going to show the footage on that one, but they did have another one side by side where we were hanging upside down and holding hands, and man, that'll give you a really nice adrenaline rush. Then they got crazy. They're like, all right, I love these third world countries, man. They'll push the bounds. They had created these surfboards, and basically they hooked you up where they wanted you to get on the surfboard and go shooting down this really, really long line. I was like, dude, applause to you guys for getting totally outside the box and getting a little bit cray-cray on what you guys can really do out there. But the grand finale, when you're all done at the end, is they make you walk up to this top of this water slide. Now, this ain't no American water slide for like really big people. I'm actually kind of a big dude. And this slide felt like it had like 14 or 16 inches clearance. And we get up there at the top, I'm like, sweet, water slide, great way to end, because it's gonna do loops and all these things. They put on this crazy big helmet. You know, you look like you're from some horror movie with this like gated jaw thing right here and earmuffs and protections, and like they took serious protection, and you had to get on the slide to kind of find out why. So it was our turn to go, and they'll give you these mats if you want to go a little bit faster. You get yourself on the slide, you've got your gear there. It's really, really tiny, and all of a sudden when they let you go, shoot, that thing just fired up and was shooting and going in circles and whipping around. And I figured out why they had the headgear, because it was such a narrow slide. Your head was doing this smash, 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 smash. Like it was just like you were getting totally like knocked out, beaten as you're going down this thing. And that has a really abrupt stop at the end as you come crashing into this pool of water, and boom, you know, it's over almost before it starts. You gotta like shake the water out of your head and face. That was cool. Like that whole day, so far, if you're going for some adrenaline, that was hands down my absolute favorite excursion day I have ever had. So we're in the jungle and you're like, oh, it must be really warm there. And technically it was, but honestly, even though it's our winter for them, the water is quite frigid. And so they asked you this question on this free fall. They're like, agua, sin agua, with water or without water? Because as they were letting you down, you had the ability, they could let you down gently enough so that you could kind of sidestep the water and not get plunged. But if you called agua, then when you're about maybe 15, 20 feet from the top, they are going to drop you. So all of a sudden they're letting you down, they're letting you down, they're letting you down. They get to that line and they're like, agua, sin agua. And all of a sudden, if you call agua, boom, they're gonna drop you straight down into the water, which it was frigid, it was cold, freezing cold, and totally awesome. Are you getting all the excitement that you want in your life? Or is it time maybe for your next adventure? If it is, hike over to the website and actually find out about one of our next exotic trips. I believe in traveling frequently and making sure that it's always a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And we find a way to get great group rates and make it affordable and accessible for people. So how about you and I get on a trip together and go have a life-changing experience?